In this video, I'm going to be vibe coding with the newly released Grok 4.3 in a full self-driving Tesla. So as you guys can see here, this released on OpenRouter yesterday. This model has a 1 million context, $1.25 per million on the input, and $2.50 per million on the output. So it's incredibly affordable. This is a 500 billion parameter model, lightning fast. I've already put it through BridgeBench. Results are at bridgebench.ai. But in this video, I'm going to be testing it while in a full self-driving Tesla. And at the end of the video, we're going to go over BridgeBench. We're going to go over the results that are created in this video. But with that being said, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, and joined the BridgeMind Discord community, the home of the vibe coding movement, make sure you do so. I actually have a like goal of 300 likes on this video. But with that being said, let's get right into testing Grok 4.3 out. All right, guys, so I'm currently in a full self-driving Tesla. This is a 2025 Model S. And what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be putting Grok 4.3 to the test inside of BridgeSpace while we're driving a full self-driving Tesla. But I'm going to be orchestrating these agents with the Bridge orchestration agent inside of BridgeSpace. So let's set up these workspaces and I'll show you how this works. So we're going to set up one workspace. We're going to set up a second workspace, a third, and these are all using Grok 4.3 via OpenCode. But each of these workspaces is gonna be working on a different task and different tests that we're gonna be putting through with Grok 4.3. So we're gonna do a Remotion test. We're gonna be doing a websites test. We're gonna be doing a games test. So I'm just gonna rename these workspaces real quick. So this one's gonna be games, and then this last one is gonna be app. Okay, so we have Remotion, websites, games, and app, and you can see each of these workspaces is configured with 4 OpenCode agents that are all running Grok 4.3 via OpenRouter. And what we can now do is let's just go up, for example, to this Remotion workspace. We can launch the Bridge orchestration agent, and this orchestration agent can do all of the prompting for us. It can manage our workspaces so that we can focus on driving and that it can manage our workspaces for us. So watch this. I need you to send a quick greeting to all of the agents working in this workspace, introducing yourself. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that know I have a push to talk key set up, and watch this. It's gonna be able to prompt all these agents.
Done. Greetings sent to all 4 open codes.
As you guys can see, this was able to prompt each of these agents accordingly. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put the address into Smoothie King. We're gonna go grab a smoothie from Smoothie King so we stay healthy.
Done. All 4 prompted with their games using paste mode. They'll start generating now.
All right, guys, so I'm currently in full self-driving, and it's actually taking me to my destination. So currently it's taking me to Smoothie King. You guys can see that my OpenCode agents running Grok 4.3 are running down here on BridgeSpace, and currently we are pulling out, as you guys can see, we're pulling out onto the road. I'm currently in a neighborhood, but Grok 4.3 is all running right here. Wow, watch this. Wow, this is actually like really tricky. So it's pulling out, it's watching the cars coming, and let's see if it pulls off. Oh, okay, look at that. It saw that car. Wow, perfect. Literally perfect. Oh my gosh, that's insane. All right, so literally our Grok 4.3 agents are currently building on OpenCode and BridgeSpace, and our Tesla is driving itself to Smoothie King. Roundabout. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is insane. Look at how fast it's outputting tokens. That is insane. The speeds are insane. Now we'll see the results, right? Because if it outputs in a really bad way, right, and the result is terrible, it doesn't matter how fast the model is. But hey, if you're running on BridgeBench, on the test that we put it through, it's literally running at over 300 tokens per second on BridgeBench tests, which is just insane. Hey there, Bridge. I now want you to follow up with each of the agents and have them review the created video and figure out ways that we could improve the video to make them more modern, faster paced, and just have a really good hook, and also be branded. Like maybe you could actually pull assets from the Grok website and get actual Grok logos. All right, guys, so I just did a follow-up prompt with Bridge here. It's about to prompt all of our agents once again with more updates, but the Tesla is now getting onto the highway. As you guys look at this, we're about to merge onto the highway, so let's see how good it is at this. You guys can see there's literally a semi right there, but this is incredible. I mean, my hand's on the wheel, but it doesn't have to be, right? And watch this, it's about to merge. There's a car to the left of me, and it merged perfectly. This is very, very impressive. It's going the speed limit. All right, so it looks like these are done doing their explorations. Let's now prompt each of these to actually get the app started. Great work. I now need you to review the output from each agent and help me now write follow-up prompts with each agent to actually build this and proceed with next steps. All right, the Tesla is merging again. About to get on our exit. Remember, I literally have not touched the wheel a single time this whole drive. It's crazy. Okay, it's pulling in now. We're about to arrive at our destination. All right, guys, so I just got to Smoothie King. I'm going to run in real quick, get my smoothie, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just got my Smoothie King. You have the Smoothie King. Let's do a follow-up. So this one's still building an app for us. This one as well. It looks like this one, it says that BridgeMax is ready. We'll test this back once we get home. But let's go over to our games. Our games are all done. Our websites are done. While our Tesla is driving for us, let's actually put in some additional prompts here. So with the Tesla is driving, I'm gonna do some more websites. Let's open up Bridge here. Hey there, Bridge. I want you to launch 8 more OpenCode agents. I now want to build 8 more landing pages. I need you to now prompt each agent with a system prompt for a different website design. I think the craziest part about this is that I haven't had to even intervene with the wheel a single time while I've been vibe coding, while I've been just watching the road. I haven't had to touch the wheel. And even right now, there's a person it literally sees this person and it just let the person, look at this, hold on. The Tesla stopped to let that person go by. It literally stopped and was polite, and the person just waved at me because the Tesla let them go. So I'm not even kidding. The Tesla, I just went through like a roundabout, right? And it noticed that there was a person and it slowed down and the person gave me a wave. They were like, hey, thank you. And it wasn't me that did that. It was the Tesla. And I'm not even kidding. The person waved at me. Like, what? Okay, it does look like pretty much everything that we've done in this project is now done. So I'm 1 minute away from home. So I'm just gonna commit everything to GitHub real quick as a bulk folder so that we can test this at home. I'm back at the office and I'm ready to test out what was created during our drive of the Model S. And as you guys can see here, I'm in BridgeSpace and we have HTML files to be able to test the websites, the games. We also have a couple Remotion videos, but if I actually open this up, I'm gonna open up the editor here. I can show you guys what was created. There is a Grok 4.3, it's this one right here. So if we open this up, you guys can see that we have a lot of code. So you see Grok video, the BridgeMax app that we were working on. We have, all these HTML files. So we'll be able to get a good view of what Grok is able to do. But I am going to look at BridgeBench after this and show you guys what we're seeing on BridgeBench. But first off, let's just take a raw look at what was created with these Remotion videos. So 2 of the Remotion videos were able to get finished. So remember, I prompted these Remotion videos to basically go out, look at BridgeBench, and then create a marketing video for Grok. Let's check them out. So Grok 4.3, the header here isn't great so far. This UI isn't great. It's like showing this to show Grok 4.3 is number 1. And then I don't know about that. BridgeBench.ai global, number 1. The score, there isn't even a score, and it's not 99.4% accuracy. So this actually is not correct. It does not have a 3.2x lead, and the score is not 1836. So those are just like totally made up. And also the UI isn't very good. But as you guys know, one thing that Grok actually struggles in is UI. I'll show you guys on BridgeBench in a minute, but that video is the first one. That one's not great. Let's take a look at the second video that it created. Here's the second Remotion video. Check this out. So similar thing, just not very good. This is like totally off the side. I don't even know what's going on in the background here. Also, this overlapping Grok, I did prompt it to go to the Grok website and grab the official Grok logo. In this Remotion video, it did. If you scroll back to the start here, this one did do that successfully. Do you guys see the Grok logo in the background here? It struggles with styling. It struggles with the Remotion videos. This is not a great result, but this is what it created. The next thing that I want to show you guys is the games that were created using Grok 4.3. So this is the Neon Pong game. And I have to say, the styling of the games and just the styling in general with 4.3 is like pretty bad. This Neon Pong game is not very professionally made. The next game is a Connect 4 game. So let's do versus computer, new game. And how do I even play this? So okay, I can put one in there. So I just connect 4, right? Let's see if it, okay, it did stop me. You guys see that there? So the computer did stop me. Oh, I have to stop it. So it's gonna go there. I wish I was better at connect 4. Let's do one. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I don't want to go there. Let's go here. Is this gonna be a draw, I feel like? Oh, I won. Right? There we go. Let's go. Okay, so it actually does work. Now the computer did just fumble the bag on that one. It let me win. But the functionality behind that's pretty good. But again, you know what I'm noticing is just the styling is not very good. Like even simple stuff like the centering here, it's just a little bit off-centered, right? In the design of it, do you guys see just small details like this? Like why are there these, if you really pay close attention to this, what is this right here? Do you see that attention to detail? What even is that on each of these chips? That's just odd. The next game that Grok 4.3 created is this whack-a-mole game. So let's start this game. It basically just has a timer for 30 seconds. You can click the whack-a-moles and it records your score. The more whack-a-moles that you get, the higher score that you get. It has like some like bonus character too. I don't know what that is. Some of them are worth different amounts of points. It gives us, again, we got 13 seconds left. I'm not super impressed with, oh, what is that one? Do I get like a ton of points if I get that one? It shows up really fast. There's this, did you guys see that random one? It shows up. I wonder if there's gonna be one more of it. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Oh, I missed it. Oh, but there were 2 of them. Okay, so 527 new high score, but that's the game that it created. Not super impressed, again, with the UI that it created. It's very simple. I think that that's definitely a struggle point for this model. If we go on to the Space Invaders game, I think that we're seeing the same thing. I mean, technically it is like an arcade look, so it's kind of creating arcade games. So if we do this one, I mean, you guys can let me know. It's just that I know that, hey, with Opus 4.7, the design that's created with like Opus 4.7 and even GPT 5.5, like I think that Grok 4.3 is not doing a great job in design. It does work, right? Like, hey, this works well. It has effects when you shoot the Space Invaders. What happens, and then it goes on to another level, and you guys can see that it is noticeably faster. So the functionality to actually build that does work. I'm not going to play more rounds of this, but I mean, that does work, right? Let's see what happens when I get shot by one of these. So game over. Okay, so it does work. It's an arcade look, but I'm just looking at it, and it's just small details that I notice where, for example, it's just a little bit off, right? It doesn't have that non-AI look. If you look up here, why did it put a rocket emoji up in the top left, right? There's no reason that there should be this random rocket emoji. That's just like, that is AI slop. So not great there. If we go on to the Flappy Bird game, still the same, like I'm just noticing the same thing. There's Flappy Bird games that were created with Opus, and they're on BridgeBench. I'll show it to you when we're on BridgeBench, taking a look at BridgeBench. The styling here, it really does struggle with the styling. And I guess I think at Flappy Bird too, but it does work. So I'm seeing that, yeah, it creates functional games. Like these games all work very well and they're working as intended. It's just missing that it factor that some of the better models like Claude Opus 4.7 have in design. And in 2026, you can't have a model that isn't good at design. It's needed. Now on to the websites that were created. So this is the BridgeMind website that it created, light mode, dark mode. But look at this, guys. I think that we can all see the issue with this site. Complete AI slop. No creativity. The design of it is really bad. If we go to another website, it's the same thing. You have those basic cards, basic hover effects. You have some stock images. You have whatever this is. This is just some studio equalizer. Basic website components. This one is a little bit better. So this one here, Style Nova, it created this. You can see the collection with some stock images and whatnot. This one looks a little bit better just because it created somewhat of a more modern, unique design here with the background image. But hey, at the end of the day, that's just, a stock image in the background. That's not super impressive. FitPulse, kind of the same thing. It's got these weird gradients that look very unprofessional. I don't know what this is. It just has a random SVG animation over here. Same thing with this CodeForge, just very baseline level. Like this reminds me of GPT-5 type styling, right? So I think that Grok 4.3 is very behind when it comes to front-end design. We'll take a look at BridgeBench in a second, but really the games, the Remotion video, and these websites, they all point to the same issue, which is Grok 4.3 really struggles in design. So I think it's hard to look at these and make a good judgment about that, because let's go over to BridgeBench and see how it actually scores on design compared with other elements of the benchmark. Okay, so over here on BridgeBench, what I just did is I did rank the models by UI. So currently these are the list of models as they rank on UI, so design capabilities. And look at this all the way down here. Grok 4.3 scored a 58.4 on the design benchmark. So it scored incredibly low, far below GPT models, far below any Claude models. And I don't know what happened here, but it just seems like they missed on design with this model. If we go down here and we look at, for example, like the lava lamp test, right? Let's find the lava lamp. Look at this. This is the lava lamp test. What is this, right? What did you guys do with the UI design? Let's look at some of the other UI designs. So here we can see this is the Space Invaders game. Let's go check out the Space Invaders game. Another cool one to look at is the neon sign flickering. So the neon sign flickering, for example, where is it? It's down here. Let's find it. Here it is. So here's the neon sign. Look at this. This is not good design. Look at the N. The N is not, it's literally, that is a backwards N. So obviously something did not go right with Grok 4.3 in design. And that's what we're seeing with this model. But if we actually go out and look at other benchmarks, what's very, very impressive is that Grok 4.3 is actually an incredibly capable model when it comes to most other benchmarks. Look at this. So most of the things that we tested are purely related to design. And what you guys can see is that this model is just not good at design. So for us visually, right? People jump to Claude as a model because they see the design that it creates and they're like, wow, look at the output that's created that you can see visually. But when you look at other things, look at Grok 4.3. Grok 4.3 ranks higher than Claude Opus 4.7 on security. It ranks number 7 on hallucination. This is now number 1 on the hallucination benchmark. Look at this, 79.8. This model is number 1 on the hallucination benchmark, which is something that Grok is actually doing an incredibly good job on. This is a very important benchmark, and it's number 1. If we go to refactoring, it also does pretty good on refactoring. It does a little bit better than Grok 4.2. It ranks number 7th, but it's still beat out by Claude Opus 4.7. It's beat out by K 2.6. If you look at the BS bench, it's doing pretty good on the BS bench. It beats GPT 5.5. It's ranked number 5 on this benchmark. It beats Claude Opus 4.7 on this benchmark. On reasoning, again, look at this. It's dominating reasoning. It's ranked, look at this. Is it tied for number 3 or is it number 2? Yeah, look at this. Number 2, Grok 4.3, 40.9. So the reasoning capabilities of this model are also very good. It wasn't able to beat out Grok 4.2. Maybe they need to play around with it a little bit, ship a couple updates, but yeah, very good in reasoning, this model. So that's another thing to note. Also, one very, very important thing that you guys get your head around is the speed of this model. Look at how fast this model is. On the speed benchmark, it's even faster than Grok 4.2. Grok 4.2 non-reasoning ran at 243 tokens per second on this benchmark. Grok 4.3, which is a reasoning model, is way faster than that. It's running at 300 tokens per second. And remember, this is a 500 billion parameter model. So that's pretty impressive to be running at 300 tokens per second. That's what we saw when we were in the Tesla. Literally, I was watching it build and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's faster than like Composer 2. But the problem is that, hey, most of the tests that we did with it are UI-based tests. So we look at it visually and we're like, oh, that is not good. We're going to have to do a couple more tests to get a really good feel for the model and how it performs on other elements. But all in all, while it does really bad in design, speed, hallucination, reasoning capabilities, security capabilities, refactoring capabilities, they're actually pretty good. It's just hard to actually visualize how it's performing on those. A lot of people, they're totally sleeping on Grok, but at the end of this year, Grok is actually going to be potentially one of the best models. Right now, this is only a 500 billion parameter model that's trying to compete with Claude Opus 4.7, which is rumored to be a 4 trillion parameter model. So keep that in mind. Another benchmark that I want to talk about just a little bit is the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index. And what you guys will see from this benchmark is that from Grok 4 to Grok 4.3, there has been a very large jump in intelligence. Look at this. You're going from 42 to 53, which actually is not that far off from Claude Opus 4.7 and GPT 5.5 extra high. And remember, this is a 500 billion parameter model. So take that into account, because the models that are going to be coming from Grok are going to be much larger. If you look at the coding index, it didn't really improve that much on coding from Grok 4 to 4.3, which I think a lot of people are complaining about. And then on the agentic index, it's also performing very well on the agentic index, 66, which is right up there with GPT and Claude Opus 4.7. So that's pretty impressive. If you look at the hallucination benchmark, let's kind of like cross-reference that with what we saw. Look at this. So let's look at this one here. Look at this. This is we saw the same thing on BridgeBench, but this is the lowest hallucination rate from any model that we're seeing. It's 25% over here, but this is a very good element, a very good trait that we're seeing out of Grok models where, hey, yeah, the model isn't very good at design. It's not a very large model, but the hallucination rate is very good and the speeds are very good and the pricing is very good. It's just that it's missing that it factor from the design perspective. And that's what people see, right? So if you see a model that's bad at design, then you're like, oh, that model is not good. But when you actually dive into some of these benchmarks, you start to notice, well, hey, put some of these things together and hey, you've got a pretty good model here that's just missing a few key traits. And once they get those things honed in, once they get that design better, it's going to be competing with the frontier models for sure. Okay, so now time to answer the big question. Does Grok 4.3 get the BridgeMind stamp of approval? And the answer to that is no, it does not. For vibe coding workflows, this model is too small. It's 500 billion parameters. It's too small, and it doesn't have the design capabilities or the reliability to actually use in a real vibe coding workflow. If I use Claude Code, if I use GPT and Codex, right, I'm going to be getting pretty reliable outcomes where Grok just doesn't have that it factor yet. I think that it does really well in hallucination and in speed and in reasoning capabilities. And one thing that I am using Grok for is I am using Grok for Bridge. Because of how fast it is, Grok is actually an incredible model to be able to use as your voice agent. So for Bridge, which I demoed earlier, this is available in BridgeSpace 3, you can use Bridge to be able to orchestrate your workspace. And under the hood, I'm using Grok to power Bridge. So I'm using this model for that purpose, but I'm not going to use it for my vibe coding workflow because the coding capabilities, the design capabilities, they're not there yet. But with something like this, right, that it can process a lot of context, it's very fast. This makes it a very reliable choice for my product, BridgeSpace 3, to be able to use Grok for the voice agent because it is intelligent, it is small, it is affordable, and it is fast. So that's how I'm using it. I'm not going to give it the stamp of approval for vibe coding. I know it performs incredibly well on BridgeBench, but it's not there yet on some very key elements. So that's it for this video. If you guys liked this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and join the BridgeMind Discord community, which is the home of the vibe coding movement. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the future.